Ladies and gentlemen, I've been waiting to get this guy on my show for a very long time. This man is the definition of inspiration. If you heard one of his speeches or you call him on YouTube or maybe even a podcast, you'll know how he can inspire a lot of people. Ladies and gentlemen, this man's dream was go to the NFL, and this man made it to the NFL. When nobody said he could do it, he did it. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Shawn Harper. Shawn, how you doing today?
Hey, you know what? I'm doing really good, man. I'm up here up in Ohio, having a really good time. I wish I was down south, because it's like really warm down there. But yeah, I'm making it.
As long as you keep making it, man. I want to talk about your motivational speaking days, but first I want to hit. CTS always started out a sports show, so let's go to it, man. You coming out of high school? Let's start at the collegiate level, Indiana University.
Yeah, well, before we even go there, you mentioned just now that it started out as a sports show, but let me tell you something. Sports in its purest form is a microcosm of life, and I was able to approach life, how to handle life, how to win in life and in business by using sports analogies. So please, whatever you do, I'm not trying to coach you or try to tell you how to run your podcast, man, but always have that sports foundation, because that to me is, like example, where else can you teach a child how to win? And you can teach a child through adversity and how to lose. Where do you teach competition? Where do you teach grit? Where do you teach follow through, work ethic? Where else in society is that taught now? It's only taught in sports. So please, for goodness sake, always keep that foundation there. I think it is absolutely amazing. Answer your question. Picking it up from high school, I was probably the least likely person to ever make it into the National Football League. I was told over and over again, Shawn, you'll never make it. You're not strong enough. You're not quick enough. You're not fast enough. I was the guy sitting in the back at the football banquets, eating that nasty like cordon bleu, and everyone's like all state, all city, all this, and I'm just in the back, just getting that third year or fourth year participation award. But nothing can stop outside of God and love. Nothing can stop the dream. And when I begin to focus on my dream, I was able to propel through junior college to Indiana University, amazing coach, Bill Mallory, and then ultimately the third pick in the fourth round to the Rams, and then the Colts, Houston, a little bit with Philly.
Well, let's go back to Indiana University. You said you did 2 years at junior college. What made you choose Indiana University?
Well, I'm going to tell you a story that I probably shared about 2 or 3 times. Okay, I've never really shared this story. My first choice, being in Columbus, Ohio, was to go to Ohio State. Obviously, I didn't have the grades. I left high school with a 1.62, a cumulative GPA, not on my ACT. I graduated last in my class. So I went off to a junior college, but in the back of my mind, I always wanted to be a Buckeye. And so I would call Ohio. I called Ohio State 4 or 5 times, like, hey, give me a shot, please. And the recruiting coordinator at the time was like, we don't look at junior college athletes. Please stop bugging me. We are the Ohio State University, blah, blah, blah. Right. And I hung up the phone the last time. I said, the next Big Ten school that calls me, that's where I'm going. It was a day later. I get a call from a guy named Dave Pesky, receivers coach from Indiana University, said, we saw your film. We want to fly you in. And I said, fly me in, let's go. And I had a great conversation with Coach Bill Mallory. And at the end of the conversation, he said, I want you to come. I said, I'm here. Done. And I flew back home with an offer. I agreed. And the rest is history. Other schools called, other Big Ten schools called, other SEC schools called, but I was already committed. I'm done. That's where I'm going.
Coming from junior college, stepping on the football field at a Division I school for the first time ever, my question is not how nervous you was, but what was, I mean, I've heard, I live in Alabama. I'm close to a university. Uh, I'm close to several universities actually. And you always hear people who play collegiate football and they say, "Oh, the first time I ever stepped on the field, I was like, what was I doing here?" It's like it's like at one time you was a big fish in a small pond. Now you're you're like one of those little goldfish in a big ocean. You
Yeah.
know, so what was your first feeling when you got on the football field and you saw all these collegiate athletes and you're like, oh crap! I mean, did you have that feeling, or was you confident that you was ready to compete?
No, I tell you what, it actually happened on a recruiting trip. The recruiting trip that I was going to, they were preparing for a bowl game. And I walked out and this was just practice. This was practice for a bowl practice. So it wasn't even full speed. And I walked out there and I was talking to the coach and I heard them run a play and I heard the pass. I was like, what in the world was that? I look over, these guys are flying. This is bowl practice. So anybody who played football, bowl practice is really chill. But it was like, what is happening? This is the most intense thing I have ever seen in my life. And I was like, man, do I have what it takes? Do I have the speed? And initially I didn't have, I did not have what it took. And so the first year at junior college, I was redshirted because they tried me on defense. They tried me here. They tried me at guard. I hated guard. And they tried me, nose tackle. They just threw me. Finally, they're like, okay, we gave this guy a scholarship. Okay, we're not going to renege. We got to do something with him. So they moved me to offensive tackle. They redshirted me. And during that year, I stayed up there. I never went back home. I went back home to visit, but for 3 years, I stayed at IU. And I grew into what they wanted me to be.
So, what position did you finally play?
Left tackle.
See,
Yep.
That's the easiest position ever.
Oh my God. Tell you something. Left tackle. No. There is.
I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking.
No. Listen. You're not going to hear this. Well, I'm going to tell you, I played both right and left tackle. Okay. Mm-hmm. I played every position on the line except for center. Okay. The toughest position to play is that right tackle, I think. The meanest position to play is at left guard. Okay.
I was going to say guard, any guard position was always tough for me because, as a tackle, you didn't have the pull, you didn't have right. You didn't have to move basically, unless you had to go block the linebacker or something like that during the running play. But the guards were were your lead blockers. Yeah. To me, I hated playing guard. Anytime anytime I was had to play guard, I used to hate it. Just keep me at tackle.
Yes.
So I can just stand there, especially on a pass play.
Yes.
Of course, guard don't move on a pass play either. For kids watching today, don't move on a pass play.
But the most important position is that left tackle. Because the blind side. He is like a special ops for the offensive lineman. Him and the tight end. You guys are like specialists. We're the warriors. You're the snipers. Yeah.
The reason why there wasn't many people thought I was very good, but the 1 to 2 people thought that I was good. I always shot the gaps.
Yes.
I never went head up with you. I shot that gap. I got as low as I could in between that guard and that tackle, and I would crawl. I would literally crawl.
Yes.
I'm going to shoot that gap. And,
yes.
Until you get to the high school, they put an end to that, but that's how for me, like that's the reason why I love playing defense, because I will shoot that gap, and during game time it's okay because you'll make the play, but during practice, oh no, you're gonna get yelled at. But that's the difference between playing collegiate, high school, and junior high and little league. Because little league and junior high school, you can do that. As soon as you get to high school, it's like, nah, this is a man sport. You got to.
Yeah, and it's funny because once you get to the NFL or even college, a lot of times it's we're not going to yell at you until your responsibility or what you did caused a mistake. Then we're going to rip you. But if you're making it happen, hey, watch the guy. That's how you're going to get. Great tackle, watch the guy. But the moment that causes someone else to mess up, not good.
So you made 2 years at Indiana University. Any big memories you had playing at collegiate level?
Oh man. I was on a team with a Heisman candidate, Anthony Thompson. Didn't do much blocking for him, but I blocked for Von Dunbar. I blocked for Trent Green. Both these guys played years in the league. Had a great time. I had probably one of the best offensive line coaches ever. His name is George Ballou. He taught me more than most NFL coaches. I had a great time just understanding the importance of the line, learning the line. I learned a lot there, and I was able to kind of parlay that over to life itself.
Draft day, where was you projected to go?
Actually, I was projected to go on one board. I was projected as a third rounder. I wind up going third pick in the fourth round, which is pretty admirable. So yeah, back
going
then,
any round.
Let me tell you something. Back then they had 11 and 12 rounds. So
yeah, because you played in the early 90s.
Yep.
And going any round in the NFL, you talking about. I don't care if you make the practice squad.
That's right.
In the NFL.
That's right.
You are the top of the top. You're the best of the best.
De la creme de la creme. If you get invited to the combine, as far as I'm concerned, if you get invited to the combine, you've been recognized as one of the best players, period.
The guy who's the 12th man on the Golden State Warriors, the 12th man on what's the Sacramento Kings, is one of the best players in the world.
Yes.
People do not understand that.
Yes.
That guy could beat anybody in the gym.
Yes.
And the only reason why he sucked because he's playing against the best of the best.
The best of the best. Yeah.
So your life in times in the NFL. Okay.
Yes.
So you got drafted. You got drafted by the Colts. Am I correct?
Rams.
The Rams. Okay. So you got on the practice squad with the Rams. What was life like in your first year in the NFL?
Well, it was fast. It was fast in every aspect. I mean, when I'm talking about fast, it was fast. It was just the practice, the life, everything. It was so intense. My stint in the NFL got hampered because of injuries. Like year after year, I got injured. Wasn't able to, like first year, I'm mixing it up with the twos. I'm ready to roll. I feel a pop in my right foot, fifth metatarsal, Jones bone fracture. Season's done on practice squad. Second year, third day of practice. Another injury, lost that season, lost the opportunity there. Just injury after injury. But the great thing is that I learned a lot. I've learned a lot from some amazing, individuals, people who have played and gone before me, people like Jackie Slater, people like Bruce Matthews, people like Will Wolford, Tom Newberry, the list goes on and on. Brostick, Irv Eaton, Daryl Ashmore. I mean, I can just name and just to understand the game. And I was able to extract the knowledge and the lessons that they taught me and to apply it in life and business. And so I may not have had the most successful football career, but the business aspect of it, what I learned playing the game, which alluded to what I was speaking about to you earlier, how it kind of is the same, has been insurmountable. It has been such a blessing, so powerful.
And going back to what you said, I totally agree with you. Sports really teaches you. I think every boy should play sports at one time.
Yes.
That's how you learn how to become a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know when it's 4th and 1, or somebody needs to take that last shot, or hey, what are you gonna do? Are you sick? You're hot. You're nauseous. You want to throw up, but it's 4-1. You got 3 seconds left on the clock. What are you gonna do?
Or
you can't go. Mama's not gonna be there to help you.
Yeah. Or unless you're like Les Miles, 4th and 8, you'll go for it. Let's go.
I wanted to ask you, because you play for the Rams, and I could have my time mixed up. Did you play with Marcus Dupree?
Yep.
You did?
Yep.
What was he like?
He was quiet. He was really reserved, laid back, hard worker, great guy. Yeah.
If anybody who's watching don't know who Marcus Dupree is, they made a 30 for 30 about him.
It's awesome.
It has, if you're a history buff like I am, it has a little bit to do with the Mississippi burning story. However, it has a lot to do with, just like this man, determination. Somebody who just didn't know the word quit. With that said, watch it, 30 for 30. ESPN is not paying for this, so free advertising. So you go to NFL Europe. I see that you got the Colts background. I take it that the Colts was the time in your life where you had best time in the NFL. Am I correct?
No, it was the Rams. So, even though I wasn't on the field, the lessons that I learned playing for the Rams shaped me for life.
So let me ask you this. So why is every time I see you in speeches, or I see you on YouTube or TV, or I always see you with that Coach jersey on?
You know what? That's a great question. I don't know why. You know what? You bring up a great, I don't know why. And that's something that we'll have to look at. But now it's probably really hard to change, because because you've been in a coach uniform for so long that all of the pictures, the coloring, the branding, all of that is built around that. So, but I don't know why. I don't know why.
Well, even the background.
Yeah. Look at the background. Yeah. It's so weird. I don't even watch the Colts.
Wow. What's your favorite football team?
Well, I don't have a favorite NFL team anymore. I had a childhood trauma that happened when I was a kid. And I'll share this with you because since you're like dragging it out of me, I should call you Dr. Phil. Like you're like the online Dr. Phil version. But I used to be a diehard Cowboys fan. But when they fired Tom Landry, something happened. Something happened to me. It just messed me up. And I said, you know what? I was so angry. And it just scarred me for life. But I just, I loved the Cowboys. But after being in the league, playing in the league, I see the politics of it all. I really love the just pureness of guys just wanting to get out there and play for the love of the game. And I'm seeing that a lot more in college. So I love college football.
Yeah, I love college football too. But yeah, I mean, football's football.
Yeah, but like okay. You're playing in the NFL. You're a great running back. You play for a great team. And they want to save some money on the cap, and you love the team. And then they're cutting this player, moving this player around, and they're like, dude, I mean, this guy played for Pittsburgh or whoever for like 8 years. Like, why would you do that? Well, it's a business. It's a business. And then when the players get that mindset, well, it's a business. I'm going whoever's going to pay me. Now it's like, oh, you're not a team player. I'm like, you know what? it's too much business in there. I can't really throw my love into this like I can do college.
And I totally agree, but keep in mind, colleges is a business too.
But right now it has not penetrated as much to the player level to where
Oh, of course not.
yeah, yeah,
It's getting there.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
getting,
it is.
it's closer there now than it ever been.
Really,
But
it's really close. It's really close.
yeah. I mean, I don't think he would care if I tell the story because he told the story. He was one of my first interviews. We're both private investigators. Uh, he was my very first interview, and he told his story. And he told me a long time ago, but it's funny when he tells it. He played for Ole Miss, and he uh he gave his commitment to Ole Miss. So Mississippi State came to his house and said, "Hey, David, I will give you whatever Ole Miss is giving you." And David, being David, he's an old country boy from Mississippi. If you see David, David's a big. I mean, he was a lot more muscle back then, but now he's like 400 pounds, 6'4".
Mhm.
Uh, he looked at him and he's a country boy. He's smart, but he's a country boy. And he looked at the guy and he said, "What a scholarship!" And now you got to understand, like you know, David. David is not like he doesn't beat around the bush.
Right.
He would tell you straight up. Into his mind, he was like, "What are you gonna give me? A scholarship? Like what? You gonna add like one more year to the scholarship?" He
Yeah.
really didn't understand.
Jesus.
But that's just a story that
Yeah.
if he was here, I hope he don't get mad for me sharing that story.
No.
So you went to NFL Europe. I like to get into NFL Europe because I mean, just real fast, because I've really got to get into something that off camera I told you it really touched me, and I'll tell you why. But NFL Europe, what was it like playing in Europe?
You know what? If we could have had reality TV back then, it would have been the best. It would have been the best reality TV ever to put 40 players in one hotel with all these dreaming aspirations from all different walks of life in a different country, culture shock, learning everything and trying to get to the NFL or get back to the NFL. That to me is like the best recipe um, uh, for reality TV. It was amazing. It was so like my first time I was over, I played in Amsterdam. And it was just like one of the most amazing experiences of my entire life. I had so much fun and just learning so much and playing like your first time you're out of the country. Like take the whole, JUCO U thing and put it in a different country. There you go. With guys who have been to the league or trying to get to the league. There you go.
I mean, y'all treated it like it was the league, didn't you? I
Yeah,
mean,
well, yeah, actually, it was owned by the NFL.
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I used to love watching NFL Europe, especially because there was no football on. You work with the Salvation Army real fast.
Okay, sweet. So, growing up, we grew up poor. I mean, extremely poor. Not poor, but poor. And my mom had to raise all six of us by herself. Actually, seven of us by herself. Just nice little small house, one bathroom. Just we're all proud in that house, and she raised us. And there were organizations like Salvation Army, Charity Newsy, just amazing organizations that came alongside my mom and say, we're going to help you in this process. And so it came a point to where I'm that I reached a measure of success. So, now I can go back and I can invest. I can now pour in and I can invest in organizations like that because there are other Shawn Harpers out there. And so I don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's a powerful, amazing organization. They're very frugal with their money. I think like over 80 cents on the dollar goes to help. And the people don't live a lavish lifestyle there. And so they take the money and they pour it right back into the community. And so, you know what? I need to be a part of something. I need to be in something, and I need to be a part of something. And that's where a lot of people miss it, is that they're too busy trying to be this and be that instead of belonging to this and belonging to that.
Very well said. Now, let's go to the main event. Now, off camera, I was telling you about this video I saw on YouTube. It was a speech you did. You had some chains, and when you was talking about this speech, I saw me. It's like you was talking to me, but the only difference is, Shawn, you didn't give up. Mm-hmm. Everything that you went through in life, I went through in life.
Wow.
I'm not sitting there telling you that we went through the same, your first time having sex was like the same way mine was. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the way you grew up, the way I grew up. You grew up poor. You talk about on one of your videos, you grew up poor and you had peanut butter, but no jelly. Hell, we didn't have bread.
Right.
I hate to say that I was poor because my mom worked very, very hard to give us everything we wanted. And trust me, my mom made sure we got everything we wanted. My dad provided too, but my dad was, in all fairness to my dad, he lived somewhere else down the street. But, he had his own life. He paid child support, and he's a good father. He provided, but we didn't have that lifestyle. Just like you. I wasn't a very smart kid. Everybody in the world told me I was stupid. Playing football, everybody told me I wasn't good enough. Mm-hmm. Shawn, the only difference between your life and my life is you never gave up.
Right.
You talk about those chains. I had the same chains on me, but you kept those chains on you and kept moving forward. As for me, I quit. I gave up, and it followed me all the way through life. Even talking to females. Hey, why would this girl like me? I'm not good enough. Kids during school. I'm not good enough to be even sit next to you. What? I should sit in the back. Being bullied. It takes an effect on people, but that's why I try to tell my kids, you cannot let people dictate your happiness in life, because that's what I did. And it affected me for a very long time. And to this day, I still have those negative people right there, and they're still in my life. There's nothing you can do to get them out of your life. They're still there. They're not going to go nowhere. You can try to eliminate them, but somebody will take their place. The people like you is what I consider inspiration to me, because I see y'all, how y'all got the same negativity in your life, but yet y'all keep moving and keep moving and keep moving. And that's what I strive to be like. Does that make sense to you?
Makes perfect sense. Most people allow adversity to shape them. And especially if you don't have a strong support system, especially if you don't have somebody in your ear telling you every single day, sometimes a couple times a day, you can do it. Keep moving forward, keep pushing, keep fighting. Oftentimes the adversity is in your life. It's so important because that's what is needed. That's the fuel to grow past and to move past. Okay. But the thing about you, I will say this, is that life, once again, is like football. You don't have to win all 4 quarters to win the game. You can win it in the 4th. You can win it in the 3rd. Just make a couple, even now more than ever, with like you doing a podcast, like you just now helping people. You have no idea what this podcast could do to maybe somebody, somebody, it could be in Adelaide, Australia. They could be in Kentucky. They could be in Alabama. So you don't have to win all 4 quarters to win the game. The most important thing you have to do, however, is to recognize what has happened and where you're at. because that is the most important ingredient to achieving your goals. It's not so much of where you're going, it's where you're at. So when we play sports, it's defined. You know, there's no question. It's third down and you got 3 yards to go. In life, it's not like that. It could be third down, 12 yards to go. You don't know that though, right? And it's the fourth quarter and you're thinking in that it's the first quarter. So the thing about you, which is so encouraging, is that you know where you're at. You know your time frame. You know where you want to go. You know where you need to go. And that's so huge. All you have to do now is plot and course. In order to go anywhere, you have to have 3 points: where you're at, where you're going, and you have to have an unmovable. And that's the judge. And for me, that's God. And once you get those 3 points, now you can plot, you can do anything. Most people think like they're headed to where they want to go, but where they're at is skewered. Like they're like, hey, I'm popular because I'm on social media, but that's not the truth. I'm somebody because I'm here, and that's not the truth. That's not where you're at. So you have captured one of the most important elements in the triangle. You know where you're at, and now you can plot to where you want to go.
And, you know, like I said, I'm going to post a link below of the video I'm speaking of, and that is exactly what I want my kids to understand. Was what you said in that video is, you know, you can't give up, because it's me. People say you should never live with regrets. I got a lot of regrets. It's a lot of regrets I live in my life because I listen to the people to tell me who I wasn't good enough. I listen. I mean, it followed me up to my 20s. You know, I have a lot of regrets. You know, I regret, you know, quitting in school. Not that I quit school, I quit trying because I was stupid. People told me I was stupid. And this lasted all the way through even going home. You know, you're stupid. What? You're stupid. Don't worry about it. You're stupid. You know, sports, you know, you're not good enough. Well, stop trying.
Wow.
You know, there's a lot of regrets I got in my life. And, you know, even with, you know, going in my 20s, there was a lot of females that I wish I would have gone up and talked to or tried, but I didn't because I'm not good enough. I mean, so that's why, like, now I want people, you know, I want people like you on my show. I want people like you to, you know, not actually raise my kids, but I want my kids to see your videos. Does that make sense? But you're definitely an inspiration. I'm glad you finally made it on my show, because I've been trying to get you on my show for a very long time. Anything that you want to plug or anything that you want to?
Yeah, I do. First and foremost, the number one ingredient to winning is that you have to believe that you're a winner, because you can only manifest what you are. The number 2 ingredient is tenacity. You cannot give up. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep swinging. You got to keep winning. That's number 2, plain and simple. I do have a plug, and I'm not ashamed about it. I just finished a course, right? I have an online course. So if you go to Shawn Harper Wins, I give you a free copy, or at least the first chapter of my book. And then it's going to get your email. Then you'll have an opportunity to get a hold of the actual course. Course is phenomenal. That's my plug. And then I have a selfish request. My selfish request is that you follow me on Instagram, Shawn Harper Speaker. I got videos, got video clips. I got some amazing stuff. But more important than all of that is this: in life, you will get knocked down. But if you can look up, baby, you can get up. That's what we do.
And one last thing I want everybody to know: just always remember, this is how I live my life now. The past is not real.
Right.
Past is not real. You can't touch this. You can't touch the past. You can't smell the past. You can't taste the past. It's not real.
That's good.
It's gone. It went bye-bye.
That's good.
So always remember that. And second, you know, with the past not being real, always remember that, you know, you always got to believe in yourself and move forward.
That's
So
it.
if you live by those two things, and also, you control what you put in your mind.
Yes.
So always remember those three things, not just three things. The past isn't real. Always move forward, and you control what you put in your mind. With that said, Shawn, don't ever be ashamed to plug anything, because how you gonna get anybody to know?
That's right.
So, Shawn, this was truly an honor. Like I said, there's a lot of people that I've been wanting to put on the show. I could never. It was always something. I'll reach out, never got no return, but I finally got you on. I only done this with one other guest, and he never came back on. I'm gonna do it to you. I want to have you back.
Done.
We can have you back on.
Done. Easy.
Easy, just like that, ladies and gentlemen. The one and only Shawn Harper. Stay on the line. Everybody else, if you haven't subscribed, please. We're not gonna get any better guests if you don't subscribe. Yeah. Nobody wants to come on to our YouTube page with 90 subscribers. Not that we do have 90 subscribers, but I'm just saying.
Right.
If you like this Jeremiah Castilles, you like the Shawn Harpers, you like the Vince Papalas, the Jim the Ricky Morrises, you like those type of guests, well, you're gonna have to push that subscribe button. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for showing up to watch the YouTube channel. Shawn, stay on the line. Everybody else, see you next Sunday.